Fear and discomfort are things that most people avoid, but what if I told you they can be some of the most powerful things in creating change in your life? Here are the 3 ways to look at fear and discomfort and how to overcome them. My name's Timothy Goddard, and for over 10 years, I've been coaching up to a national level of swimming. I see too many people living life small and not living the life they want to live. Today, I'm talking about having the nerve to act in the face of fear and how it can improve your self-growth. Okay, number 1, and the very first thing is start increasing your comfort circle. And I want to start with a quote, and the quote says, "You have to have fear in order to be courageous." So when you see those people who you might aspire to and they've achieved a lot, it's not because they don't have fear and they don't care about risks. It's just that the fear that they get, they know how to handle it better. And with a little bit of practice, we can all get better at handling our own fears. Well, how can we improve our comfort circle? The very first thing we can do is just making sure that we're doing things slightly outside them. And the way that I realized that I was doing this, I wanted to be a really good skier. And the skiers that I saw that I wanted to be like were jumping off these really massive cliffs. So I decided that I would practice skiing off cliffs, but I would just start off nice and small. And I would do these cliffs over and over and over again until they got boring. And then I slowly stepped up the cliff, and then I would do those cliffs over and over and over again. And if you know anything about skiing, you normally ski down the run, and then you have the chairlift at the bottom, and then that brings you to the top, and then you can ski down again. And most people were just skiing, right? They were just, if they were even doing a cliff, which was not even many skiers at all, then they would probably do 1 or 2 in the day and then stop. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to make those cliffs boring because I knew where I had to get to. So I would do these cliffs over and over and over again every single run until I made them boring. So I was basically training my fear tolerance to make sure that the bigger cliffs weren't going to freak me out and I could commit to them. And I managed to eventually, in a very short space of time, increase my fear tolerance to cliffs which were maybe around like 30 feet, or like maybe 10 meters in height, and I would jump off those. And you can be doing the same thing in anything that you're doing. The main problem that we face is that comfort is pretty addictive. And if we stay in comfort, then our comfort circle ends up staying the same, or it ends up even shrinking. And you see that all the time. People get used to being lazy and sit on the couch for a long time. And then when it's time to exercising becomes really hard for them to do. Going outside becomes really hard for them to do because it's something that is not very comfortable to do. But the thing is, you can slowly improve that over time. I was a personal trainer for a few years, and I would get some clients who would struggle with motivation. And I would tell them, just rock up to the gym for 5 minutes. And it's not the idea that 5 minutes is going to make them fit and have a six-pack and lots of muscles. The thing was that the 5 minutes was building the great habit for them to go to the gym, because they're slowly incorporating a brand new habit. They're going to make sure that habit stays there 5 minutes, maybe twice a week, and then they can slowly increase it. And by the time they're there for 5 minutes, they end up staying longer anyway. And that is how you can increase not only your fear tolerance by just slowly bringing it in rather than going for something which is up here. And building a good habit ensures that facing a fear becomes easier. I had the habit of jumping off the cliff every single time I went skiing and increased my fear tolerance. That just turned into a habit. So it was very easy to do, and I knew what I wanted to achieve out of it. And that brings me straight to number 2, that if you build good habits, that facing fears become a lot easier. Your nerve is a compass. And I want you to think about facing fear as your life pushing you into a direction of growth. And it's up to you to actually take that step. So we need to stop seeing fear as a barrier and stop seeing fear as something bad and start reframing that fear into something which is excitement. We know that this is life guiding us into the direction that we want to go in. If we can see that fear is pointing us into the direction of growth as a person, then it's easier for us to take that step and not just think it's going to be very painful. And I want us to think about that the next time fear shows up, is it because it is generally scary because you're in the ocean and there's a shark there, which yes, you should probably be scared of because of you don't want the shark to eat you, although there's people who swim with sharks and they know what they're doing, but I don't. So I would prefer to get out of the water. And if it's dangerous, yes, well, then the fear sets in. But a lot of life, you get these fears, you get these anxieties of things which aren't going to happen, don't happen, right? And it's a lot of, or what if this, or what if that, when in fact, the chances of anything happening is probably not very high. And you need to make sure that you're not limiting yourself and you're going for the things which get you growth. So for the next time you see fear, I want you to write down what it is that actually scares you. I want you to reframe the fear into saying, is this going to be something which is going to improve my self-growth as a person? And the third thing, I want you to break it down and see if you can make that fear a little bit smaller by doing something which leads into that fear. So, for example, if you're challenged with talking to 100 people in a room and you're scared of public speaking, maybe start with 2, maybe start with 3, or talking to yourself in the mirror and then slowly building up. That is how to increase your comfort circle and increase your fear tolerance. Realize that the life that you want is just outside that box that you might be living in. If you want to know more about mindset, performance, just check out this video that I've linked somewhere in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.